This is the Finesse Media Podcast.
Hey guys, it's your girl Sharon Monet of Pen Legacy Publishing, and thank you for tuning in to Finesse Media Podcast, where there is always, and I mean always, something brand new.
Make some noise. Joining for the second time. She joined us in season 1. Welcome back to the podcast. My girl Trina Braxton. What's up, girl?
We got my own little, there first. This is a serious matter. Yes, because it is. Everything you do in life is a serious matter. So you can apply it to your everyday, and that's what I do.
Saw the lady in a pink and green.
Wasn't that you came with somebody, and wasn't if you came alone because you want to meet somebody and fall in love with somebody. I'm going to give one person a shout out, because this person has been super supportive over the last 15 years of my life. Her name is Dr. Renee. She is one of the speakers. My very first autograph signing, back when people used to sign autographs at record stores, she was there by my side, and every single show I did in Chicago, she was there. Chicago gave me my very first #1 record on the radio, and she was there the whole time. She has my mother's phone number and can pick up the phone and call the Nanette Payne at any given time, as pretty as I can. So you are loved. I so appreciate you, and I'm so proud of your rise. I'm so proud of you. I watched her and she's watched me, so I'm ready. All the way. Thank you so much, Evelyn, for having me.
First saw the lady in a pink and green. She asked me, what do you wanna be? Well, I said I wanna be an AKA, 'cause Alpha Kappa Alpha is the only.
Welcome back. Another episode of the Finesse Media Podcast, Season 5. I'm your host, Ken Finesse Media. And each and every week, as I mentioned to you, I am bringing you something brand new. But all month long, I've been bringing you someone brand new. Some people you've seen last month or coming up are friends to the show. I just brought them back. But I'm bringing on, again, people that's finessing the game. But so happened, this month is Black History Month. And also shouting out to my Divine Nines all month long. I've been bringing in one person. Some have been multiple. People that's in those organizations that I think and know that's finessing the game. So joining me tonight for the first time, though, this is our first time, so welcome aboard to the podcast. My good friend of many years, a lady of many different talents. She, disclaimer, has to come back. She will not be able to give you all this in 20 minutes, but she is taking the time to speak with me and representing the so pretty ladies of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Make some noise for my good friend, Dr. Renee Matthews.
You're so silly. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's cold in the D. I just watched BMF. Are you watching that?
I love BMF. Unfortunately, I didn't finish the first season yet, so I'm not quite caught up yet. But I'll get there. I'm gonna have to sit and binge. But yeah, the first episode though was my favorite because they were playing the music that I loved to party to when I was in high school. Mm-hmm. I literally got out of my chair and was dancing. I was like, oh my God, they have started off on the right foot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They started season 2 off with Sunshine Anderson's song, Heard It All Before. Yeah. And she's a Midwest girl too. I don't know if she's from Michigan. I think she's from like Indianapolis.
Okay.
Yeah, while working with Selena years ago, people used to always get her confused. Like, is that girl that sang Heard It All Before? I'm like, no, that's the Guess What lady, people. But you are, without no secret, a lady of Alpha Kappa Alpha. You know, when I met you, Doc, years ago, I mean, you were doctoring and you were doing all sorts of things, writing in magazines and all those. Again, can't list it all in this one episode. But when I saw you a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha, it went through the roof. I knew I think I wanted to do this, so I didn't call you, but I may have texted you. I don't know. I communicated quick, I think.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It was something I wanted for a very long time. So
really?
I'm very happy. Yeah.
What made you join? And I'm just asking probably every guest that's coming on that cheesy question, but for some it has been really deep and you think, wow. Because for me, coming from Midwest, I didn't know much about Divine Nines when I got to my HBCU, but what made you choose Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated?
So I found out about them actually in high school. I was invited to participate in the AK Teens with the chapter that I am in now. And so I participated in that and I was like, oh, this is great. You know, we were volunteering and really participating in some really cool events around the city. We did a step show. Of course, we threw parties, but we just had a really great time. And I met some really amazing young ladies at the time who now we're still friends, some of us.
That's dope.
And then, of course, the ladies of Alpha Kappa Alpha that were our leaders, facilitators of our organization, they have stuck with me all the way through as well. One of them was there at my initiation.
Wow.
Drove
Full
all the way
circle
from
moment,
Tennessee.
like
Yes.
a
And
complete
was
full
like,
circle.
there is no way I would miss this for the world. So she was there. But it was really cool. Now I'm serving alongside these women who knew me back when I was 15, 14 years old. So that was the thing. My mother actually is a part of the chapter as well, but she became an AKA in 2007.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to think if you had that growing up. Okay, but she pledged grad chapter later.
She did grad chapter as well. And so I didn't grow up with anyone in my house. We had one uncle who was a Kappa.
Okay.
And so that was the only person in our family that was in anything in the Divine Nine that I knew of. Later in life, I learned after she was deceased, I learned one of my cousins is a SG Row.
Okay.
And so I didn't know anything about it until, like I said, high school. I knew that. Then I also, because we threw the parties, I started to meet the Delteens, which is how I was like, oh, Deltas. And then come to find out later, these ladies that I grew up in church with my whole life, they were Deltas. I didn't know.
I love that. I love those moments.
So, I didn't know. And then in high school and in college, of course, I, was exposed to everything. At Michigan State, we pretty much had, I think we had everything at one point at Michigan State. So I, learned about that. But really, it was always AK because I started out as an AK teen, and that's just, and those ladies were amazing. Like I said, we had etiquette classes. We had learned how to walk in heels. I mean, they just did so much with us. So
that's what I love about our organizations, the Divine Nine, is because I think most of them, I know what you said, the AK teens is what it was called, and we have Sigma Betas and stuff, and the Deltas and the Alphas have the I know Kappas have the Kappa League as well. So it's really good. Alphas, you guys, you do have something, but that's what I love about it is because they nurture and plant those seeds at a very early stage. And then in hopes too, because I've known people who said that they were a part of Arcanets, which is like, the Zeta Phi Beta sister or auxiliary group, but they pledged Delta, but their love is still, within Zeta and for what those ladies did. And so that's what I love most. Speaking of what you love most, I guess that's a good segue to my next question. What do you love most about your sorority at this moment of now being a member? Because you always, I think, revered them from what you said, but now being a member, what do you love most about the sisterhood?
I love that the VP is one of us.
Right. Check.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, that is amazing. I think I love, like, even right now, I am participating. I am a mentor with the AK team. So I love mentoring. I know you know me for a long time. I volunteered with the Urban League. I volunteer with the Girl Scouts. I'm a lifetime member of the Girl Scouts. Been volunteering with them for many, many years. So I love that, that we are trying to help young ladies become fabulous women so we can continue to change the world. I love that, somebody made the point because obviously Alpha Kappa Alpha is the first sorority, Black sorority. I love that those ladies decided all those years ago that they didn't see anything and they just sat down and created it themselves. And you hear about that, but you don't realize, because so many people are like, I can't do that. But one person can make a difference. And the children today, they kind of get it. And they're making those kind of changes. And I'm glad that we're able to, like I said, I'm a mentor with the AK teens. My teen actually is one of the Detroit Youth Choir. So she was on
that choir is
America's
amazing,
Got Talent last week.
Wow.
Yes, she was on last week, and they got the golden buzzer, so they'll be back for the finale. So I'm very excited about that, and they're also going to have a documentary on Disney Plus, a docuseries. So I love that I get to pour into her, and she's what's next. She's what's coming. So I love that. I just participated in the Martin Luther King Walk on last Monday, and it was amazing to see all the Divine Nine out there.
Yeah.
But you know,
every
we
city
actually
does it. Dallas was huge. It's always
yeah,
big. Yeah.
yeah, and it was freezing here.
Oh, well, it
was
wasn't too
20-something
bad here. I'm
degrees
sorry.
outside.
I'm sorry. I'm
But that didn't
sorry.
deter people, and that was awesome.
Yeah,
We had a
absolutely.
lovely collective of AKAs that were out
Mhm.
there. We stood in order, like we marched in
Mhm.
order. So the
It's
alphas were in
dope.
front of us, and we
And
were behind
founding. I
them.
love that.
So I could, but when I turned around and saw that it was a lot of people,
Yeah.
so we were all represented, but we were all there, and it was just an amazing thing to see us all together, all different chapters. So not even just my chapter, but all
Yeah.
different chapters. And so it was amazing. I just think it's wonderful to see the sisterhood. And like you said,
Crazy.
it's not even just AK, but
Mhm.
you know, completely collectively, because I have friends
Mhm.
that are in all different, you know, organizations
Yeah.
come together. But yeah.
Because you can be in the streets, and I mean, if you're wearing your AKA paraphernalia
Yep.
and a Zeta and a Delta or whomever, they walk up, it's that connection. So you like, it's really freaky because you say, okay, so many AKs in the world and so many alphas, that connection. But then when you look at, there's 7 other organizations that you have a likelihood to see in the streets, be working with, sitting on the panel, is crazy. And the immediate instant connection, right? It's
Yep.
not an HBCU, PWI. No way. If you have pledged within the National Panhellenic Council, you understand. And it's, I was saying to the last guest that in 16 years, I still pinch myself as a member of Phi Beta Sigma. When I was initiated in spring 2007, I still pinch myself, Doc, like a guy from the south side of Chicago that went to Harper High School, which is one of the worst areas, they say. You know, it absolutely, you know, grounded me. But being in the organization, I couldn't fathom that. I didn't have that trajectory or mindset, and now still being in it and meeting still new frat brothers and AKAs, you know, and I work with almost every organization in this building. I think there's a representation of one organization in this building. So that connection is cool, and it's been instant. But as we talked about the bonding of it all, and I know in undergrad, we used to do this. I don't know as much as with grad chapter, because I'm also a part of grad chapter. We don't get into the chants, but there are some cool chants that's not even a diss chant, but more so that speaks to your organization. And what I like to know is, what's one of your favorite chants?
So I don't know.
I know you got one.
I really don't know.
You don't have one.
No, I don't
I even know some, but that's not for me to say. But I'm just saying, it's cool chants out there.
Yeah,
you don't have
and
one.
I mean, I don't. I mean, I've watched like on Instagram and TikTok
yeah.
stuff, and
Okay.
actually, my sister sends them to me, and I'm like, I see all these, especially undergraduate chapters, and their strolls and their steps, and I'm like, oh my gosh, and I think I just heard something I had never heard before last week.
I'll switch it up, and I'll switch it up and give it to you back, and I think you'll still know it. And you got me on the fly, because that's now I got to create another question. But no, what's cool about it is that every organization has that motto. So ours is culture for service, service for humanity. When I hear that, so many things start going off. When you hear your motto, and please tell the people what it is, because it's phenomenal. Let people know what the motto is, and when you hear that, what does that do for you? What comes to your mind?
By culture and by merit. I just get excited. I'm like, okay. And then I love, there's something else, and it just left me, of course. But yeah, it's gone. Old age. But yeah, by
no,
culture,
you're busy.
by merit,
You're busy as heck. You're active.
right. And people are calling me, and I'm like, what's going on?
My Virgo sister, we so distracted, right?
Yeah. No, I'm a caregiver, and so the caregiving people are calling me. But my dad's upstairs, so he's with me, so I know he's okay. So, but I don't know. By culture, by merit, I think I just get excited because we, and then in our song it talks about our sisterhood, and I love that. Yeah. Because I have a sister, and I love that I have now all these other sisters, and I call myself a pretty good friend, and so
I like that.
It's really awesome to see.
Hint. I like the pun into that.
I like that all these other ladies are now like, oh no, I got you, and I'm like, really? Oh, okay, thanks, but because we have this connection. So by culture, by merit, I really see, and I mean, by merit, these people, they stand on their word. They're like, okay, let me help you. Let's do this, just like even with this caregiving with my dad, one of the stores had to help us out with that. And I mean, my dad is everything. So for the fact that we had a store that was like, no, we were going to get this taken care of.
So good.
This is ridiculous.
That's so good.
We gotta,
without even, asking
never
for things
meeting
in return, just doing
never
it.
meeting me in person. This is
Oh my
straight up
goodness.
an email introduction, but she's like, oh, you're part of the sisterhood.
Yo, that's
Come on.
literally giving me chills, Doc. Seriously. Because I've had, again, this over a decade, experiences that way. You go, wow, like this is a real thing. That's why I detest, just sidebar, to each his own, folks that denounce and they say these crazy outlandish
Right.
things about the
Crazy
organizations. And I'd be like, wow, like if you really was in the organization, because, or just not of the organization, are you not in the world? Because we
Right.
do have a family where we got great aunts and uncles, but we got some cousins that's not so right, some aunties that shouldn't have said this, or done that. And so it's the same thing. If you're of the world, it's the same. But I would say the greater love of this organization travels from east to west, not just internationally or domestically, but internationally. The love is just automatically there when you say something like a stranger did this for me. Just because of that organization connection, I'm just like, I don't know what you're seeing out there, but we're not praising to no fictitious gods or doing all these crazy devilish things. But I digress. Because I want to keep it there in the good energy when you talked about good people like a Soror stepping in and then doing it, not unapologetically, but willingness to do it with no things or an exchange return. Each and every week on the Finesse Media Podcast, Doc, I ask my Finessa. This is what I'm not stopping doing this February Divine Nine edition. I'm asking my Finessa, who is you, Doc? That person is, I think, that's finessing the game. Who do you think within your organization, though? That's the twist of Alpha Kappa Alpha. Who's that person for you that you say that's finessing the game?
Oh my God, there's so many.
I know, for sure.
There's so many. Okay, so I'm gonna give you two, but they're really kind of close. You'll see.
Okay,
so
you're cheating, but I'll take two.
I know. First, I have to say Star Jones. As you know, I met Star way back in the days of Twitter, and Star is still, you think she's out, but she's not out. She's still, doing big things. And right now she is the host of Divorce Court, and she is killing it.
Yes, she is.
I do believe she's also an executive producer of the show, besides being in front of the camera. So that's awesome. And then the other person is Chanel Jones. Chanel Jones, if you don't know, is on Today's Show.
Okay.
And Chanel is part of the third hour with Al and Calvin and Craig, I'm sorry. Craig Melvin and Dylan. That's her name.
Okay.
So she's on the third hour of the Today Show, and Chanel is, one, she's a Black woman up there. And, Al Roker, when he was sick, she was only blackface up there for a minute, and then now he's back. But yeah, and Chanel is killing it. She did a documentary last year that was about Black women infertility issue, and it won many awards. I think you can watch it on the Peacock app. It was amazing. We did a town hall discussion about it on blackdoctor.org, but she is, doing really big things, and she's looking to create more content like that, which I think is going to be very helpful, because obviously Black people, we need to talk about our health. And so I really appreciate her, stepping out and doing that. And she graduated from Northwestern, so she has a Chicago connection.
That's what's up.
But I
didn't know she was an AKA, though. I know who you're talking about. I didn't know she was an AKA. So that's news. And that's someone or two that's finessing the game for Dr. Renee. So that's awesome. What I'm also doing before I get you up out of here, I am digging through my finesses. I'm digging through your social media pages, and I'm trying to figure out, maybe what is this photo or what is this status that you posted all about? So you want to see? Are you ready to see?
Sure.
It's a safe space, Doc. Like, look, I know I didn't put nothing out there.
I know what I post.
So I'm digging through your page. I say, let me see what's going on in this photo. Tell me what was going on in this photo, Dr. Renee.
Okay, so first you took the picture, but that was when Chrisette Michelle had came out with her own jewelry line, and we went to celebrate that with her when she came to Chicago. And that was her at the time assistant Felicia, who I'm still very tight with, by the way.
Really? Okay.
And I'm still tight with Chrisette. As a matter of fact, we spoke together at a conference in Tulum, Mexico in October. And actually that's what you should have pulled. She did a video. It's a video. Somebody did a video. They were doing Facebook Live, and Chrisette, she goes into this whole thing about, I just want to shout out this one person. And I was like, what is she talking about? I'm at the concert. Not concert, but I'm at the conference, just, and I'm just standing there, and she's like, she has been with me since the beginning of my career. And she just went on. And then all of a sudden she says, Dr. Renee. And I was like, what?
Sweet.
I was like,
all right, yeah, Chrisette's a good time.
So yeah, so she Chrisette shouts me out and says, Dr. Renee. And I was like, oh my goodness. And so my sister saw it on Facebook Live. So she, pulled it and edited it. So that little piece. So I posted it on Instagram. Actually on Chrisette's birthday in December, I posted it. But yeah.
If you still have it, send it, because now I want to see it and the people want to see it.
I will.
Let me tell you why I also pulled that photo. There was another one, and I'll show you offline what I was going to choose. But this one, I was like, wow, it wasn't just the photo and the moment I wanted you to share. I also want to publicly and it also respond to many years of a thank you for that moment, because fanning out, right, for Chrisette, she had just launched that album, and I'm telling you, it was almost like I attracted this moment because I was jamming the album every single day and going through it. It's crazy, right? Be honest here, going through a situation, the album, and I don't know how it happened, but Doc, easily, and this is what I say about connections, because you and I, we don't have any connections through family and friends.
Right.
It's been so long, I don't even know where it started, to be honest with you, Doc. Twitter. And so literally like a perfect stranger, she don't know me, I could have been a killer, but we had kind of grown maybe a couple years into the relationship in terms of the friendship, and Doc said, come on through it. I'm like, well, Chrisette Michelle? Like, really? And this is happening? I was, man, forever grateful. And I'll tell you again, sis, to the world, thank you so much for making that happen. So when y'all see me post that picture for a flashback, because I love to bring it up as a flashback Friday or whatever, know that it's this lady that was responsible for that whole thing. And I thank you for it. And even once the place shut down, this is how I knew Doc was important. Because when the place shut down, I was like, okay, Doc, we got to go. They closed the door and we sat down, and Chrisette was on the floor and we was having crackers and whatnot. And she was having some kind of tea drink. You may not remember much of it because your relationship with her was there then and still is. That's the only moment I have. So I remember every single detail.
Gotcha.
And I'm a Virgo like you are.
Yes.
So, we have that, real keen detailed memory. And so, no, that memory serves me well. And so thank you so much for doing that. Just like thank you for coming on this podcast.
You're welcome.
Taking the time out with your busy self. You got to come back, though, and bring us more medical information, too, because the folks need it, particularly in our community. And so I will tell people, certainly make sure that you keep up with Dr. Renee. Let people know on every platform.
Dr. Renee.
There you go. At Dr. Renee. It's at Dr. Renee everywhere, right?
ASKDRRENEE. Yep.
.com,
YouTube,
too.
Instagram, .info.
.info. Gotcha.
But YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, I'm on all of them.
Yeah.
Twitter, everything.
That's what's up. Well, Dr. Renee, you keep shaking your pretty hair. You keep wearing your pearls. I'm going to say all that because I love the ladies, AKA. People often kind of look at my logo and go, is your mom or somebody in your family, AKA? I'm like,
I know,
no.
I love the colors.
No, it actually was a rebranding. It started off blue and gold. And no one said nothing. Shout out to the SG Rose. No one said nothing. I changed it pink and green 3 years ago. Everyone's in my inbox. Zeta, sorry. Delta, sorry. They're like, why you didn't make it blue and white? Why you didn't make it red and white or crimson and cream? I'm like, yo, it was honestly, I didn't even think about it. As being this knee deep into it, I hadn't even thought about it. Like, those are the AKA colors. So unique. So unique and so pretty. They are the ladies of Alpha Kappa Alpha Incorporated, but representing tonight on the podcast is Dr. Renee, and happy belated Founders Day, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Continue to enjoy the rest of your evening, and you guys continue to watch and support the Finesse Media Podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment down below. Let me know how much you like this episode and make sure you support my queen, Dr. Renee Matthews, joining me on this podcast. I'm Ken Finesse Media. I'll see you next week with something brand new. Peace.
This has been another edition of the Finesse Media Podcast. Join us again next week for the latest news from HBCUs. Special guest